Welcome back to the cryptowrld channel, everyone. My name is Josh, and right now Bitcoin is playing out a bullish divergence in the short term while the price runs into important resistance, which I'll talk more about in just a moment, so definitely stick around. First of all, just giving you a quick update on the daily Bitcoin chart. Right now, obviously, the price of Bitcoin is still playing out this break to the downside, as well as the daily Bitcoin RSI. But if you're looking at the daily Bitcoin MACD, technically speaking, we have now confirmed this bearish cross in the daily Bitcoin MACD. But as of right now, we are still seeing very low bearish momentum in this indicator on this time frame. So technically speaking, based on the price action, the RSI, and the MACD, we're still looking slightly more bearish than bullish here on the daily time frame. But with that being said, we don't have a lot of bearish momentum once again, which means we could continue to see some more bearish price action, but not necessarily a significant bearish move like this, for example, because at least as of right now, we are simply lacking that bearish momentum. And that could be due to the fact that on the weekly Bitcoin chart, there's a massive bullish divergence that is already active and playing out right now. And in fact, a bullish divergence on the weekly Bitcoin chart is an extremely rare pattern. We do not see this very often, but when we do end up seeing divergences here on the weekly Bitcoin chart, for example, this bearish divergence, they usually play out over at least multiple weeks, usually multiple months, and sometimes even up to a year or so, like what we've seen for this bearish divergence. But in most cases on the weekly time frame, we usually see these divergences play out over around 1 to 2 months on average. But considering the fact that it's been around 1 month since this bullish divergence confirmed on the weekly Bitcoin chart, technically this is still very much active on the chart, which technically means we're due to see reduced bearish momentum for the much larger trend here on the weekly time frame. So for example, I wouldn't exactly be expecting this sort of price action within the next 1 month or so, and instead the more likely scenario would either be some sideways price action like what we've seen over the last 1 month or so, or perhaps even a slight bullish relief, because those are simply the most common outcomes from a bullish divergence. And now if you're zooming into the shorter term, this right here is the 4-hour Bitcoin to US dollar chart, and as of right now the price of Bitcoin is running into some resistance in the short term, sitting at around 16.9k approximately. And of course, this resistance comes from the fact that we had previous support at that same level back here. And technically speaking, when the price breaks below an important support level, that level flips into new resistance as we're seeing right now. But if the price of Bitcoin can confirm a break above 16.9k with a 4-hour candle close, for example, and ideally flip that level into new support again, then it's likely the price would head up towards this next level of resistance at around 17.3 to 17.4k. And as for support, we should have some short-term support at around 16.6 to 16.7k. But below that level, if we see a break to the downside, like what we've seen over the last 1 day or so, then in that case, I'd expect the price to continue down towards this support range, which is sitting at approximately 16.2k. And now in terms of the short-term trend, technically speaking, as of right now, this is still a bearish trend in the short term because we're still technically seeing a lower high, lower low price formation. But while the price of Bitcoin is in this short-term bearish trend, we are currently seeing a bullish divergence within the bearish trend, because obviously, as you can see here, the price of Bitcoin has formed lower lows while the 4-hour Bitcoin RSI has formed horizontal lows, which is a form of a bullish divergence. And obviously, since this divergence has already confirmed, we've already seen a slight relief in the short term, but typically these bullish divergences visible on the 4-hour time frame last over around 1 to 2 days or so. So the most likely scenario in the imminent short term, potentially over the next 1 day or so, is a continued short-term relief. So basically just a pause from this bearish trend, but technically we have not confirmed a trend trend reversal in the short term as of right now. It's just we're currently in a pause within the bearish trend, at least for now. But anyway, getting into the Ethereum part of this video, this right here is the daily ETH to US dollar chart. And technically speaking, if you're looking at the break to the downside in the price action, the RSI and the MACD looking more bearish than bullish. Overall, on the daily time frame, we're still technically looking more bearish than bullish. But with that being said, looking at the histogram within the daily Ethereum MACD, this is showing reduced bearish momentum in the shorter term on this daily time frame, which basically means the same thing as what I said earlier for Bitcoin on the daily time frame. So even though we're looking more bearish than bullish and we could see some lower prices, I wouldn't exactly be expecting a significant move to the downside like this while we're seeing reduced bearish momentum, because we're simply lacking that extreme bearish momentum that we had back at this previous significant bearish move, for example. But anyway, if you zoom into the shorter term, this right here is the 4-hour ETH to US dollar chart. And over the last one day, the price of ETH perfectly bounced from this exact level of support, which is sitting at around 1150 to 1160. And almost immediately, the price bounced from that level of support straight up to this level of resistance, which is sitting at around 1220 approximately. And obviously, the bearish scenario here would be if the price of ETH gets a rejection from this resistance at around 1220 to 1230 approximately, because if that happens, if the price of ETH comes back down towards around 1150 to 1160, then in that case, that would potentially complete this massive head and shoulders pattern. Because as you can see, we've already formed a left shoulder, we've already formed the head, and right now we could potentially be forming the right shoulder for this massive head and shoulders pattern, which is technically a bearish pattern. But it is important to mention that this head and shoulders pattern would only actually confirm if we see this rejection from this resistance come back down towards this neckline at around 1150, and then we need to see a break below that level in order to actually confirm this head and shoulders pattern. And so obviously this head and shoulders pattern as of right now has not been confirmed. And now for the bulls out there, obviously we need to break above this key level of resistance at around 1220 to 1230, because if that happens, then the price would likely head up towards around 1280. And in that scenario, a potential right shoulder in that case would actually be too big for this head and shoulders pattern. But in terms of the short-term trend as of right now, technically this is still a bearish trend because we're still in a lower high, lower low price structure. And so at least as of right now, we have not currently confirmed a trend reversal in the short term. But if the price breaks above around 1230, then that could signal a possible trend reversal out of this bearish trend. But as of right now, we have not yet seen that, which means I would still remain somewhat cautious here in the short term as the price is running into resistance until we actually see some more bullish confirmation signals. But whether the price is pumping, dumping, or simply chopping around sideways, either way, you can make money in crypto if you watch these videos popping up right here on your screen. Because the video in the top left of your screen shows you how to make money in crypto if the price is going either up or down, and the video in the bottom left of your screen shows you how to make money in crypto if the price is chopping around sideways. But anyway, that's everything that I have to say for today. I really hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you all in the next video.